Good. Okay. Well, thank you for coming today. My name is Dan Laird. I am the Panopto administrator at SUNY Oswego, and I'm going to be going over some of the ins and outs of Panopto. If you don't know what Panopto is a video recording service. There is a client that you can download to your laptop or office computer. And it is also available in the classrooms across campus. And what that does is it allows you to record lectures or content that you'd like to share with your students. And that can easily be published to your Blackboard course. There's an automatic process that does that. Once you complete those recordings, it can easily upload a link to that video to your Blackboard course so that your students can access it. This service not only does recording on its own with its client, it also enables you to upload content that you might not have created in Panopto. So if you had other videos that you would like to share with your class, you can also do audio only files. Those can be uploaded to your class folder as well and be shared out. So it's kind of both a video recording and a video management service that work in cohesion. So I'm going to go over some of what is needed to get started with Panopto with your Blackboard course. And then I'm going to show you the software and kind of go through how that works and how to do a recording, some of the features with that. And then after we go through some of the recording features, I'll show you what the interface looks like in Blackboard and the playback interface and some of the stuff that your students see as far as what the layout looks like. So that's the agenda for today's meeting. I'll get started. So the first thing that you need to do, excuse me, in order to use Panopto, you need to set up Panopto in Blackboard. Once you do that, that kind of gives you permission. It creates an account for you. I will share my screen. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like in Blackboard. I'm going to show you a video. We have a YouTube video that shows you what it looks like to set up set up Panopto in Blackboard. I can't do it since I've already set up Panopto in this course. It's hard to delete it and then start over. So I'm just going to show you a video of what it looks like. This is our Panopto support page. It's oswego.edu/cts/Panopto. So this video is available there along with a lot of other help resources, just so you're aware that that material's there. So in the middle of this page, there's a setting up Panopto in Blackboard link right here. So that goes to the YouTube video. And you don't really need audio for this. I don't know if it comes through, but. So I'm just going to go through this real quick while this is on here. So in each Blackboard course, there's a link on the left-hand side in the menu called class recordings. So every single Blackboard course that's created has this link. So what you do, once you have a new course you'd like to set up Panopto with, you go click class recordings in that menu. And then this configure button will come up. So you click on that. And then another button will show up that says add course to Panopto. So once you click that, that activates, that creates an account for you in Panopto if you don't already have one. And it also gives access to the students in that course so that they have view access to everything that you create. So not only does it set up your account and create a folder for that course, it also gives everybody in that course access to view what you're going to create for it. So kind of does a couple things there. And if you have any teaching assistants, they will have the ability to help you manage that as well. So that kind of folds that into. So that in a nutshell is how you set up your access with Panopto in Blackboard. Does anybody have any questions on that before I move on? It's pretty simple.
I have a quick one. So say we want our students to do a presentation on Blackboard. Do they have to, can they set up a Panopto for themselves as a student?
You have to set up something for them. I'll go over that. That's something that is a feature in the software that I'll go over it later.
Okay, if you have time, it'd be great, because what I teach, I need my students to demo. So thanks.
No problem. I will definitely go over it when I go over the features in here. Okay, so after you get set up with, you do that configuration, under the class recordings portion of Blackboard, this is what it's going to look like. So you'll have, well, you won't have anything in it yet, but once you publish content to it, then you'll see links here for the videos that you create. So, and then if you have multiple videos, students can type in here and do searches through your content if they're looking for something in particular. So this is what it looks like after you get it provisioned. After you get this set up, you're gonna, if you want to create content in, not in a classroom, if you want to have the recorder on your computer, then your next step, you click on this create button, and excuse me, there'll be a button that says Panopto for Windows or Panopto for Mac, depending on whatever computer you're using. So if you click on this, it will ask you, if you don't have it installed, you can download the installer. So for Windows machines, you're going to want this one, the 64-bit download installer button. If you have a Mac, then you're going to want to install the Mac version. So these are the two that you're going to want to grab, or one of the two you're going to want to grab. So after you download it and install the software, then you'll be able to click on this button that says Launch Panopto. So you can directly open Panopto through Blackboard using this option. So you go to Create, then Panopto for Windows, and then Launch. And this will open the software on your computer. So, and they'll ask me, am I sure I want to open that? Yes, I am sure. So it'll take a second for that to come up. And I'm going to need to reshare so you can see my Panopto window. So give me a second. Okay. So when you open Panopto through Blackboard, it automatically takes your credentials, your LakerNet ID, and passes it through, so you don't need to type it in again. So that's one of the nice things of, if you go and open Panopto through Blackboard, you won't need to, sign in again. So just one less step. So that's kind of the way that I teach people how to use this. So right now, since I'm on Zoom, you can't have a camera being used by two resources on your computer. So I do have two webcams. One's built into my laptop, so I'm going to grab that one. And I'll move the little slider over so you can see. There's me. Okay. So once you get your software set up, you set up which video camera you'd like for it to grab. And then you'll need to select which audio you'd like. Usually people only have one option for each, so you're probably not gonna have to worry about this. So you make sure that your video is set and that your audio is set. So the first thing you want to do after you set up your video and audio is make sure that this there's this levels bar that's next to it. And you can see as I'm talking that it moves up and down. You're going to want to make sure that that's happening, because that means that the microphone, you know, it's receiving audio. So you want to make sure that your audio is the most important thing to go with your lecture of you talking. So, you know, having the talking head here, that's nice, especially when you're remotely teaching, so that your students can see you. But you're going to want to make sure at a minimum that your audio is set up, because that's the most important part to go with your recording. So there's by default, there's a button under that says capture computer audio. If you're going to be showing videos in your video, like in your recording, say you're going through your lecture and you wanted to show a YouTube video or something from Vimeo or something that you wanted to integrate into your course, this will grab the audio from that directly from the computer. Otherwise, before this was set up, the audio would come from your speakers and then be recorded by your microphone. So it had, like, you know, that kind of echoey, you know, recording audio in a room. So it wasn't perfect. So this grabs the audio directly on the computer. So if you have a video playing, your students will be able to hear the audio much more clearly. So if you're going to be playing videos, make sure that's checked. These are checked off by default. If you have a PowerPoint, this will grab that and put it in the recording. By default, this will record your screen. It's a screen capture. So I'm going to just click this. This kind of does a preview of this is my desktop. So this is what would be recorded as I'm talking. So anything you do on the screen while you're presenting will be recorded. So if you want to either go through a slide presentation in PowerPoint or do Google Slides in a browser, or if you want to go to, you know, websites in your browser, or if you have a software program that you show during your class, like anything that's on the screen is what's going to be recorded while you're talking. So that's what that's capture main screen option is. It's doing a screen grab of whatever you are presenting on the screen. So excuse me. So that's the basics of your hardware setup and kind of what is being recorded with Panopto. Does anybody have any questions so far with what I went through? Okay. So as you're getting ready to record, you've got all your hardware set up. This by default will grab the folder that you were in Blackboard. So that should probably be where you want this video to go. But if you have multiple courses that you have set up with Panopto, you can click on this pull down and it'll show you. I'm the admin, so everybody's folders in here. But you can go in and choose a different folder, like if there's another class that you want to send the video to. But by default, it will grab the folder that you were in Blackboard, so that's probably the one you'll want. By default, the name of the video is a timestamp. You can change this if you want. Say if you're teaching from a particular book, you can say, you know, chapter 2, just so that you know that this video is covering that portion of your book, you know, whatever. Anything you want to change the name to, you can. And the video settings down here at the bottom, just leave those alone. By default, that's what we recommend people use. So once you have the correct folder and the name that you want for your session, you can click record. So I'm going to do that. And it'll tell you when it starts recording. It takes a couple seconds for the hardware to initialize, and then you are recording. So you can minimize this Panopto window. You can go into your PowerPoint that you have open. You can go into YouTube, anything that you're going to do on your computer to present. So you present the class. During this, if for whatever reason, you take a break in the middle of your class, or if you do group work or anything that you don't want recorded, there's a pause button. So you can click that. It pauses the video, but it's called a non-destructive pause because it's actually still recording. So say you hit pause and you forget to unpause it, it's not lost. It's just not being shown. There's kind of like, you can gray out portions of the video so it appears that it's paused. So if you forget to unpause it, your stuff's still in there. It's just you're gonna have to go into an editor, and I'll show you that later. But just so you know, you can pause the video. It won't show the portion that you're pausing, but if you forget to unpause for whatever reason, that's something that you can fix later on. But that option's there. So if you do your lecture, you record your content, and you're done with your class, then you would hit stop. And what happens after this, it will give you a confirmation screen with the session name. If for whatever reason you're like, I don't, I want to change it. It wasn't chapter 2, it's chapter 3. You can change that here. You can add a description if you want. If you weren't happy with the recording, you can delete it and record again. I'm fine with this, so I'm going to hit done. And this is going to bring me to this screen that shows the upload progress. And it's going to be quick because it's only a minute and a half video. So you'll see the bars that will show the progress of your upload. And then it'll go away because it's done uploading. So what this will do, it takes your video, uploads it to the Panopto cloud, and they have servers there that will process the recording so that it's available for your students. So you'll see a little, you can see it says processing. It'll give you updates on how long that takes. This is a short video. This shouldn't take very long at all. So that is how you start a video, how you conclude it, and kind of the process afterwards. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? Okay. So as you can see, the processing prompt has disappeared. So my video is already ready. So let me go back to Blackboard. And I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, so as you can see, that recording that I just did is now in my Panopto folder in Blackboard for that course. Right now you can see it's still processing a little bit. You could watch it if you want to, but it's embedding captions. Anything that you record in Panopto and you submit in an upload automatically gets captioned. There's a automatic captioning service that is in place, and it does a pretty good job. It's between 90 and 95%. We've had fairly good success with it, but it's not perfect. So after your lecture, you're probably going to want to go in and look at the captions and make corrections. It does do, it capitalizes and tries to put punctuation where it thinks it should go. So that's kind of nice. If you've ever had to do captioning and mess with one that doesn't have any punctuation, it's worked to, put in periods, capitalized at the beginning of sentences. So it's, at least that part's nice. So, so this is what your students will see, the video thumbnail, and then the link to click on. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like. And so in this main video, you're going to have your screen capture. That could be, whatever you've got on the screen, whether it be your PowerPoint, or anything you're doing in software, in the browser, whatever you're doing on the screen, that's what's going to show in the main window. There's other things that you can record with this. If you're in a classroom on campus, there are document cameras. And since the cameras in the classrooms don't really get the whiteboards very well, we encourage faculty that want to, like for the math courses, as an example, they'll write out problems and go over how to solve them. We recommend that you do that using a document camera, like have a piece of paper underneath the document camera and write it out. All the document cameras on campus are connected to the computers, so you can record what's on the document camera. So it's not in here because I only have one video feed, but you can switch between cameras in the playback. So if you do use a document camera while you're teaching on campus, that is something that will be integrated into the video, and your students can switch between your main view and that camera. So just so you know, that's something that's available if you do record on campus. You can have a secondary camera at home or in your office if you want. It's not technically, it's not technically a document camera, but I mean, it's just another camera. Like if you had a second camera pointed down at your desk and you wanted to write out things to demonstrate, or whatever, you can have multiple video feeds in this, just so you know. But this is where they would show up. So this is the main screen. This is the camera of me talking. If students want to, they can switch which screen goes in what part. If they just want, like, say it's a guest speaker and there's not really anything on the screen and you just want to look at somebody talking in front of a class, they can full screen the speakers just so it's them talking. So they can also full screen the computer screen, the screen capture. So if that's all they want to see, that's an option for them. And then it's got, your typical, you can advance. And then there's also, you can change the speed of the playback. So this is helpful, if you're just pressed for time, and normally, going 1.25 doesn't make a huge change in how someone's talking. So you can get through content a little bit quicker. So that's there. And then you can have captions in this window. And then this shows where your captions are. So not only do they show up here, they also there's a transcript on this side. So as you're talking,
it will tell you when it starts recording. It takes a couple seconds for the hardware
to progress through this and kind of highlight it as it goes.
And then you are recording. So you can minimize this Panopto window. You can go
so this transcript that it highlights which portions it's at
YouTube.
This is kind of a popular feature in other services like LinkedIn Learning.
The class during this,
so it's good for people that need,
you take
that want to see the text ahead of time, and having the full transcript available, not just the closed captions. So besides the captions and the main playback, there's also a discussion area, a notes area. Students can make notes in here. You can make notes in here. You can have them just as your notes, or you can make them available to anybody that's viewing this. That's up to you. You can also have your own bookmarks. I didn't have a PowerPoint up, and when you have a PowerPoint, it actually will make bookmarks every time you advance a slide. So that's kind of something that it automatically does. And also, if you use a PowerPoint, it will do a screen grab. So it will screen scrape all of the text that's in your PowerPoint and makes it searchable. So it makes the text in the PowerPoint searchable. And it also, since it's doing this automatic captioning service, it also makes your spoken word searchable. So you can see right here where it says search this recording. I'm going to say PowerPoint. I believe I say that. So at the 10-second mark, it says you can go into PowerPoint that you have open. You can go into YouTube, anything that you're in. So this will search PowerPoints that it's grabbed the text from. It will also search what you've said. So that's kind of a neat feature. And that, in a nutshell, is how the playback looks. You can have ratings enabled. You can have downloads enabled. This is, since I'm the admin of this video, since you'll see these as the creator, you can share your video from here. You can download it if you'd like to your computer. You can edit it from here. You can see the analytics. So does anybody have any questions with the playback? I see one in the chat. Can you explain how to get started in the classroom? So if you're in a classroom on campus that has Panopto installed, which all the classrooms that have computers in them have Panopto installed. Not all of them have recording hardware in them. Most of them do, but not all the classrooms on campus have recording hardware in them. You're going to want to, if Panopto is something that you want to use, you're going to kind of want to make sure that the classroom does have the hardware available. You can do that by going to, let's see here, you go to the CTS website. Excuse me. Okay, so this is the CTS homepage. Under services and resources, there is an advanced technology classroom link. You click on that, and this gives you information on all the classrooms on campus. So say you're teaching in Mahar and you would like to see what rooms have a camera and a microphone installed in them. So I'm going to select Mahar Hall. And then under equipment, look for do lecture capture camera. And hit apply. So this will show you all the rooms that have the lecture capture camera mounted in the classroom. So all of these rooms in Mahar Hall have the hardware available connected to the podium computer. So if you want to make sure that the class you have has that available, make sure you go to this website, put in the building name, and then select the lecture capture camera. As a caveat to this, the lecture halls, like the ones in Lanigan Hall, not all of those have video cameras, but the lapel pins or the lapel mics that are at the front of the hall, that they do record audio. So not all of them have video, but all of the lecture hall rooms have audio recording. So just be aware of that. So once you make sure that your classroom has the hardware available, you go in, you turn on the computer, log in like you normally do. There'll be a Panopto icon on the desktop that'll show you that it's installed. I would recommend that you open up Blackboard. So you just go to your Blackboard course and go to your course and then click on create and then click on Panopto for Windows. And that will open the software and allow you to start the recording for your class. This way, you don't need to, if you clicked on the Panopto icon on the desktop in the classroom, it would ask you to log in, and it's just another step. So it's easier if you do it through Blackboard. You can do it either way. I'm just telling you the easier way to go about doing it. So once you get to the Panopto recorder, just like I had showed you, hit record after you make sure that the name of your session is what you want it to be. You teach your class while it's recording. You just minimize Panopto, go through your PowerPoint, go through whatever you're going to go through for your course. And then once the class is concluded, you hit stop and then it'll upload your content to Blackboard. So okay. I hope that answers your question. Okay, so that is how the playback works. I'm going to show you a few of the things. I'm also going to show you. I'll talk about the student Dropbox right now, actually. So let me make sure I know where it is. Okay, cool. So when you open your Panopto folder in Blackboard by going to the class recordings link, there's this little gear icon. If you hover over it, it says folder settings. So you click on that. And there's an assignments folder. So you can click on this. I think I've already, should I close the window? Hang on a second. Get back in my course. So I've already done it for this course. Actually, let me see if there's another course that I have. Let's. This. Thank you. All right. We'll try this one. Class recordings. Okay, this is my folder. It's not in here. Of course. Well, I have a PDF that actually Kathy Dutton made that kind of shows you how you can set up Dropbox. That is, let me see if that's under our page. I think it might be. So if you go to swigo.edu/cts/Panopto and click on help resources. Don't have it in here either. Okay, so I do have a PDF that talks about this that Kathy gave me. I will send it to you. I think I've already done the folder setup in mine and it won't let me do it again. So see if I can find a folder I didn't do it in real quick. Normally you would go under here and then you could have assignment folders and then you make those. Let's see if I close. Yes. There we go. Okay, so I close my current assignment folder. You can create assignment folder. And what that does, it creates a folder that the students can then upload to. And only you can see the videos, but they can't see each other's. So if you had an assignment and you didn't want all the students to be able to see each other's work, you created an assignment folder, and then they can come in here, and just like you did to download the recorder, they can click on create and open this, and they can download the recorder, create content on their own computer, and then upload it to that assignment folder. There is a way that if you had an online course that you wanted to share the content, you wanted the students to be able to see each other's content, there's a way to do that. Normally we set that up for people, but just so you're aware, if you did want to have collaboration between students with the videos, that is available. But by default, you create an assignment folder, they can submit their videos, and then you can look at them and grade them. So I will send you the PDF that Kathy made. That might be a little more helpful than my explanation, but So besides the student assignments, let me just show you a couple things in here for your folder settings. So if you wanted to, you can share your folder out. Like if there was a colleague on campus that you wanted to show your videos to, you could type in their names here and share it with them. Allows you to do that. If for some reason you wanted to have your videos public, like say you had a video folder full of videos that you'd like to put on another web page or embed somewhere, you can go in here and make them public. So not saying that you know necessarily want to, but the option is there. Some people think that by default, if you go into Panopto, sometimes you can see other people's videos. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is the Panopto homepage, and I can see everything because I'm the admin, but some people make their videos public for whatever reason, like they don't care who can see them. So those people that make their videos public, it will show up on this homepage. So if you see other people's videos in here and you're like, oh, I get this question a lot. People are like, well, I don't want my videos to be seen. Can they see mine? By default, when you set up an Panopto, the permissions are just for you and your students. So unless you mess with those, it will only be you and your students that can see your content. So don't worry about other people being able to see your stuff, even though that you can see some of theirs. They made it public, so it shows up here. So your stuff will always be private unless you change that. So besides the sharing settings, you can enable people to be able to download your videos. Like some students like to download the videos and have them available offline, so they don't need to, if they have a bad internet connection or whatever. That's up. You can also change the availability of these videos. Say when you upload them, you didn't want them to be immediately available. By default, they are. By default, whenever you upload a video, it will immediately be available. And that's what this setting says here. Settings become available immediately. You can change that if you want to. You can have it so it's only available when you approve it, or you can pin a date to it. Say, all these videos I'm creating, I want them to be available when my course starts on July 6th, when my course starts this summer. You can do that in here too. You can have it so that they expire, their availability expires. You can put a date on it that says, well, I'd like my students to be able to see this until the last classes, which would be May 9th or whatever. So you can go in here and change that too, if that's something you want to do. Okay, I think. So those are the folder settings. You can copy these too, like say if you wanted to make a copy of the folder. There's also folder stats. So if you wanted to see the views of your content, obviously this is just my test folder, so there's no one watching any of this. So you can see how many people are viewing it, how long they've spent, like how many minutes have been watched. You can also see that who's viewing it. So if you have a student that says they've been watching these and you want to verify that, you can see who the top viewers are and how many times they've looked at it, how long they've looked at it for. And it also shows like where your viewers engage in the video. This is kind of like a heat map. It's helpful. You can kind of see like if there's a blip in the middle of your video, maybe there's something that you're teaching that students are having difficulty with or, honing in on or searching for. You'll see like a spike if they're actively searching out content in your video. So that's kind of useful in that regard. So some helpful analytics if you would like to view them. And let's go back to So those are the folder settings. You can also on each video. You can also do this per video. So if I go into settings for the video I just created, it gives me all the information on that. You can also go to output, and this is where you can download these. So for some reason, if you'd like to take the video out of Panopto and put it, into YouTube or whatever, you can do that. This is the download podcast. That's just, this is the video. So it's just downloading the video. You can change how it looks. Like by default, it has the main screen is my, what is on the computer screen. And then down in the corner, it's got a picture in picture. So it's got me talking. So by default, it's picture in picture and the quality is 720. Mute my house phone real quick. Okay. So you can change this. Like if you only wanted the screen capture, I could take out my talking head down at the bottom. For whatever reason, I only wanted me talking, I can have that. So you can mess around with it if you want, but by default, it's picture in picture. So that is some of the features in the settings here. You can also edit your videos. So if I click on this edit button, it'll open up an online editor. This will allow you to, there's a timeline of the video. It'd say, in a typical circumstance, like if you were teaching in a classroom and for some reason you hit record and there might have been a conversation at the beginning of class that you didn't want to stay on the video, or maybe you didn't hit stop at the end of class and you had a conversation with another student and didn't want that in the video. There's bumpers at the beginning and end that make it very easy to kind of gray that out. So if I want like the first 10 seconds or the last 10 seconds to not appear, that's one way that you can easily edit this, and it's kind of a common thing that some people do. This, as I told you before, these are non-destructive edits, like the pause. So if you would pause something, there would be a gray area like this. So the video is still there, but it's been grayed out and won't be available to viewers. So this doesn't delete it, it just grays it out and doesn't play it when people play the playback. So you can do this with any section of it, but the video is always here. It never deletes portions of it. So, and the captions, if you wanted to edit your captions, you can go over here to the captions menu and you can go in here and you can make any changes that you want. It's very simple. And then when you're done with your edits, you click the apply button up here. And it'll say the changes are applied. And if you want to close it, I'm going to say okay. And if you make any changes, it will then need to reprocess the video. That normally doesn't take too long, but it needs to, if you grade out something like I did, it needs to reprocess it so those portions can't be seen. So. Okay, I think that's covers everything I wanted to go over. Is there anything that I missed or anything that anybody has questions with? Can I elaborate on what the engagement is? Can you elaborate on that? Are you talking about
it measured, yeah, it
Okay.
measured like viewer engagement. I just don't understand how that is like, what does that mean? How does a viewer engage with the video? Like,
that's a viewer watching the video.
Yeah, Right.
So that's how many times they've watched the video interactions. Like there's,
Oh, I see. Just how many times they watched it.
some views, there's comments and notes. So you can see if both the views, and then if someone comments, you can see that. And then if anybody enters notes, it doesn't say what they've written. It just says that they've interacted with it and used
Oh,
the
okay,
feature.
okay. All right, thanks.
So, and you can also see it down here, like this is me viewing it. So you can see like how many notes they wrote and how many comments they made. So, and you can download these. I don't know if it's an Excel file or a PDF, but I know you can download the reports. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? You can always feel free to reach out to me. My email is daniel.laird@oswego.edu, or you can go to, a lot of the stuff I talked about is on this help resource page. There's a winter breakout session, similar to what I just did. So if you wanted to rewatch, I mean, I know John's going to have this available afterwards, but this one's there already. So yeah, that's all I had. So yes, I will. I'll actually email it to everybody, and I will put it on this webpage too, because I thought it was here. So I'll send you that PDF from Kathy. No problem. I hope you all have a good day. Thanks for coming. Good luck with your courses.
Thanks, Dan. I'll stop the
problem.
recording.
Okay.